Okay, we're just about ready to button her up for the first live fire test on the paintball gun. Everything is installed except I'm topping off the charge on the 6-cell battery, so as soon as that's done, then we'll get going. But inside, there's only two things left to connect. One is the FPV camera, which I will connect and run the camera through, and then once I turn it over and button everything up, I'll mount the camera. And I have to attach the paintball, the CO2 tank for the paintball. Now this is all in and ready to go. Everything's good to go. This is the new gun body. I had to kind of become a paintball gunsmith on this one, but these Spider Opus systems are very, very simple. They look daunting at first. You know, it's an unfamiliar gun and it does shoot 50 caliber paintballs, and this CO2 is at a couple thousand pounds of pressure, you know. I know the tank is rated, the safety valve's rated that if it gets to 3,000 pounds, the safety valve will go. I guess it's got like a 4,000 pound burst rate or something like that. But anyway, now I am using 3 different batteries in this, which I wouldn't have to if I were to put in step downs. I'd have to have one step down from the 6-cell to the 12 volt for the FPV, and one all the way down to the 7.4 volt to run the IBU2. For right now though, I got plenty of space, and the 2 extra batteries are really lightweight, so I'm not real concerned about it. It's just easier to run the extra batteries. But the entire FPV system is installed except for the camera. Now you'll see a lot of tape in here because and there's a lot of testing still going on. I got to figure out how all this is going to work once everything is functioning and, you know, to my satisfaction. Then that'll be one of the detail projects, will be to go back through and get rid of all the tape and put in proper wire tie downs. Now right here I'm going to attach a very simple type of tie down that I think is going to work pretty good. It's basically just a couple of pieces of styrene sandwiched together with a gap so that I can run a wire tie. And this is a wire tie that comes with just about any tank or vehicle that you buy. If you get a Forces of Valor static 1/18 half track, there's like a dozen of these twist ties in there. And pack rat that I am, I rarely throw anything away, so I figure this will be easy to replace if they wear out, and it's just a quick tie down. I'll just attach the attach the plate right about there with some 5-minute epoxy, and then I can just have a little extra security right there. Once everything's in, I can just wrap down my paintball hose, you know, because I don't want to have all that weight just on these 2 straps. You got to remember, I'm going to turn this upside down, and all this stuff is going to be hanging, and then gravity comes into play. But the new this is the same servo, but newly attached to the new gun body. This time I used 5-minute epoxy. It seems to be working really well. And this time I knew exactly where to put the epoxy so it wouldn't interfere if I need to open the gun for servicing. And that's one thing that's changed in the whole design of the tank, is that my original intent was to have the gun permanently mounted so it just didn't come out. But that can't be because it requires service and maintenance. So I've got to change some things on the mantlet and the front barrel and make it so that I can remove the gun if necessary. Not a big deal, just, you know, little setback. I'm also still thinking about a ring right down here for support on that hose. I'm not sure how that's going to be when I turn it over. With it tied down here, I should be okay. There's an on-off switch for the FPV. I'll be able to reach right through this hatch and turn my FPV on and off. My laser pointer is mounted in the mantlet. This is the wire that comes from it. I tried it on the headlight circuit for the IBU2, but it just doesn't have enough voltage for this particular laser pointer. This laser pointer will handle up to 12 volts, and the 5 that it's given off for the headlights just isn't going to work. I need probably at least 6 or 7 volts on that laser pointer. It does work, you can see the dot, but it's pretty weak, and I know it's not going to show up well over more than 10 or 12 feet, you know, but for right now, for test, it'll work, because that's another complete detail project that has yet to be done. I've got to put set screws in the barrel and the mantlet so that those can be like temporarily attached, so they'll be removable, and I want to put some kind of set screw system in there to adjust the laser pointer so I can dial in the sighting. So as you can see, there's still a lot left to do, but it's really coming along. The whole paintball system is all now installed, and You know, I've got elevation and a proper amount of traverse. Everything works pretty well. This will be the feed tube for the paintballs. Now I'm hoping that gravity will do the job, but that's not a very sharp angle. So if gravity isn't enough on its own, I've got this. I'm not sure how well it'll show up on the video, but it's a spring follower that was cannibalized from a different type of paintball gun, and I've got the black plastic end for it that goes up against the paintballs. So if necessary, I can feed this spring in and then figure out how much tension I want to have on it, if I need to cut it off or what. Figure out some kind of plug for the end. You know, one more detail. But I think if I have to use this, it'll greatly limit my ammo capacity. Because if I have to put this in, it's going to have to be so it'll push down to like the very last paintball. I'll probably have to use most of the spring. And then I'll only, whatever this will compress, if I can safely get 8 paintballs in there, compressing that, then it'll be it, you know, whatever that number comes out to be. So hopefully we won't need this, because once it's turned upside down, I'm hoping gravity will bring us right down into the paintball chamber. Well, there's only one way to find out. My biggest fear is that a ball will go halfway in and get caught by the bolt and just burst right there in the barrel, in the chamber, because that's a big, big mess. It'll take a lot of time and a lot of swearing, and if Mike was here, it'd take a couple of cases of liquid beverage to get that job taken care of. But everything's ready to go. As of right now, I can turn on the paintball, watch the fan, or paintball, hello, the FPV. Transmitter's on. Camera's not plugged in though. But everything's ready to go. Sorry this got so long. Just wanted to get a before on the live fire test. You can see I've got everything set here. I set that box next to the tank so that I've got something to set the upper hull on while I attach all these servo cables. I got everything on there from the laser pointer to the LED flash on the machine gun. So that's where we're at, and hopefully the next video you see, this thing will be all buttoned up and blazing paintballs. The biggest problem right now, wouldn't you know it, it's raining outside. See you next time.